Welcome everybody to the Get Shit Done Show, episode 225. My name is Tellman Knudsen. I'm the founder of the Get Shit Done Show and getshitdone.com. And welcome. Today we're here to talk about a topic that maybe is affecting you, maybe is affecting someone that you care about, someone that you work with, someone in your family, maybe a sibling, maybe a parent, maybe a child, maybe a cousin. Imposter syndrome. What is it? What's it all about? How does it hold us back? Is it real? That's what we're going to be discussing here today on the Get Shit Done Show. I just want to welcome everybody to the Get Shit Done Show as you start showing up. Welcome. If you have questions about productivity, about imposter syndrome, about hypnosis, for me or any of our previous episodes, please go ahead and ask in the comments. Love live comments from the viewers. So welcome everybody. Good to see you. We are currently live streaming on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So very, very pleased to be here this evening for episode 225 of the Get Shit Done Show, Imposter Syndrome. I just got off the phone with a guy that I've known for a long time in the greater entrepreneurial world, and we had a brief discussion about hypnosis, and he told me that he had someone that he works with locally to him that had helped him overcome imposter syndrome. And I was a little bit surprised because this guy doesn't seem to be very woo-woo to me. He seems to be like a straight shooter kind of a guy. And so I was happy. I was happy to hear that not only had he worked with this person, but he had mixed results. It was a little bit unclear on whether it worked, did it not work, But I was very happy to see that he was open to it. And I've spoken with more woo-woo entrepreneurial marketing folks that I know and have been friends with for the last 20 years in the internet marketing world who definitely have used hypnosis, some of which have been hypnotized by me for issues like imposter syndrome. And some of the most interesting stuff that I can share with you is that imposter syndrome absolutely 100% can be the thing that holds you back. So what is it? Imposter syndrome is when you're working on taking yourself to the next level. You're losing weight, you're getting in shape, you're improving your love life, you're improving your communication, you're improving your ability to connect with people at a deep relational level, right? Maybe you're focused on improving your income, or even growing your business, right? Maybe you're in BizOp and you're just trying to make some money online, or maybe you're building a real either online or offline, legitimate business. And as you grow, you're like, oh, suddenly I'm either outside of the comfort zone of how much money that I grew up making or that I'm used to making, or I'm imagining myself getting outside the comfort zone of what I know. And we're not usually aware when this happens. What usually happens is we start going foggy, we start going blank, we start not thinking about certain aspects of the future. And then we in ways that we don't realize that we're self-sabotaging, we subconsciously self-sabotage ourselves to keep us in exactly the same level of success that we've experienced being in the past, and as we know ourselves for who we are and what we can do and what we believe about ourselves. So how do we end imposter syndrome? Well, step one is you have to adjust what you believe about yourself. You have to adjust what you believe about yourself. And, Medi says, how can I speak English well? And that's a great question. Um, I just recently opened a new hypnotherapy clinic where I live in Vermont, but I had offices here over 20 years ago when I first became a hypnotherapist. And there's a school here that used to be much bigger than it is now called the School for International Training. And this was a hub for students who were coming, I believe, out of a bachelor's degree and going into some aspect of international relations in some way, shape, or form in the future. And so there was a lot of language learning that happened in the school, and there was a Japanese course that was going on. And I had this student who came to me that said that the semester had just begun and they had heard about me through a friend or something, and they wanted to know what could be done to help her learn Japanese, because she had the semester had just started. Her position was already locked in after the train after she graduated. She already had her position for her future and her career like locked in abroad. But she had a sudden death in the family, and she was not going to be able to spend the majority of the semester in class. She was going to have her books, but she was not going to be there for the audio portion of the class, right? The live portion of the class. And this is over 20 years ago. So we weren't streaming webinars back then, right? And so what happened was and she was trying to figure out a way to accelerate her learning. And so I actually hypnotized her before she left on her trip, on the phone during her trip, and then when she returned after the trip quite a few weeks later. And then I hypnotized her for accelerated Japanese learning, and she just sucked it up like a sponge, and she aced her exam. She went on to tell the teacher what happened, because everyone expected her to do poorly. And the teacher was so interested that the teacher called me and did a session, and then started recommending her students who were either in a crunch or had a hard time learning languages to come work with me. And I was working with small groups of School for International Training students, working on teaching them Japanese, even though I didn't speak any Japanese. It was incredible doing these group sessions. So yes, you absolutely can use hypnosis in order to improve your ability to learn a language. 100%. I have a ton of experience personally helping people with that. So great question. Great question. Welcome everybody to the show. My name is Tellman Knutson, and you're here for episode 225 of the Get Shit Done show. We're talking about imposter syndrome today and how it holds us back. Many of my closest and dearest, most long-term friends are entrepreneurs. Many of them are internet digital entrepreneurs and teachers of marketing, of entrepreneurship in different ways, shapes, and forms. Most of them are gurus or thought leaders of some form, in some capacity, certainly business leaders. And every single one of them bumps up against an area where they feel, and this happens all the time, where they feel like a fish out of water, where they feel like they're in over their head, where they feel like they're doing something and they don't have the chops, they don't have the skills, they don't have the confidence, they don't have the ability, or they just feel like they don't deserve this level of success. And when people feel like they don't deserve that level of success, what happens? They start drinking, they start doing drugs, they start spending all their money on stupid things, they start taking risks, right? And it's very, very easy to lose money. Very easy to lose money once you have it. And so imposter syndrome is something that affects people who are stuck at the lowest possible income level, or who are homeless and can't seem to get out of it. And it affects millionaires who could be billionaires, or it affects multimillionaires or CEOs who could be great family people, could be great fathers, could be great mothers, but instead they've focused all of their success financially or in their career, right? So there are different ways you can look at this. But the point is, the results that you're getting right now, if you've been getting them for a while, those probably are your beliefs about yourself. And if you've found that you're not making, even if you used to make a lot of progress, but you're not making progress right now, that's probably because you're bumping up against a ceiling of belief about yourself and what you can accomplish. And you might not believe that that's the case. But if you do believe that that's the case, if you find yourself constantly staying stuck at the exact same income bracket, no matter what new thing you try or promotion you do or product you release or strategy you implement or hire you make or shift that you make, if you're constantly coming back to this exact same level, you've got to ask yourself, who's holding you back? Because it's not the outside world, and we both know it. It's your beliefs about yourself. It's your beliefs about yourself. And what hypnosis does is, at a root, at a core, at a deep subconscious level, it teaches you, it shows you, it gives you the tools that you need to upgrade, to enhance, to improve, to modify, to transform your true beliefs about yourself. When you do that, you can do anything. And so imposter syndrome is very similar to any other habit that you might want to break, from quitting smoking to stopping drinking alcohol or dealing with addiction of some other form. Being stuck in high stress and anxiety situations and reactions, or fear. If you're constantly stuck in a state of fear, if you find that you do things like picking your skin, biting your nails, grinding your teeth, these are all examples of anxious behavior that you're not in control of, that is now happening underneath your conscious level, and it's becoming a problem. And that's where hypnosis comes in. It helps you learn how to get under the hood of your own mind and to fix things, to rewire things so they operate the way that you want them to, instead of misfiring the way that they are right now. Right? And we do this by opening up a conversation, a direct, real-time conversation between your conscious you, the real you, the you think of yourself as right now, and your unconscious self, the 80% of you that's below the surface, that's actually calling the shots on your entire life. Right? So if that sounds exciting to you, there are two things that you can do. Right? The first thing that you can do is, if you enjoy this episode, if you enjoy talking about imposter syndrome and getting shit done, and how to overcome imposter syndrome, if you learned a little something about hypnosis or a little something about yourself, please like this video on whatever platform you're watching it on. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, follow me on LinkedIn. And if you want more, if you want to test the waters with hypnosis, go to getshitdone.com. You can join our productivity community there, and I'll give you a free productivity hypnosis session. It's called the Get Shit Done session. It's a recorded session I created several years ago for my clients who want to improve their productivity and get shit done. It became one of my best-selling sessions. I'd like to give you a copy for free today if you join us at getshitdone.com. You can check it out. And then if you're ready to book a private session to help you take things to the next level, you can go to workwithtellman.com. That's WORKWITHTELLMAN.com. Welcome everybody to the show. My name's Tellman Knudsen. This is episode 225 of the Get Shit Done Show. It's Wednesday, August 13th, 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time. It is also my girlfriend's birthday, and we're just about to go out to dinner. So I'm going to cut this show short. Pinhead Larry, welcome Kathy, welcome Mayan, welcome Carmela, welcome again Mayan and the guy, welcome LR, welcome Pat, welcome Techmon, welcome I don't know 22, welcome Texas Plant Lady and Cindy, welcome David, Gabrielle, Angel B, Abby. Welcome everybody to the party. My name is Tellman Knudsen. You're here for the Get Shit Done Show, episode 225. We were talking about imposter syndrome today, but we're actually just about to wrap up. So if you're here watching us live, then enjoy the last few seconds, and otherwise watch the replay a little bit later, depending on what platform you're watching on right now. So thank you everybody. If you like this show, follow, like, of course, comment, and go to getshitdone.com and join the community. This is Tellman, over and out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.